For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crying in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
Minimum wage by August the 1st of 2024. That's our NewsSpin question of the day. Also, the first responsibility of any government is the safety and protection of its citizens. And also to be discussed during the course of our broadcast today, the details of the nature and extent of police equipment and resources are a matter of national security. Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the most monitored talk show in the world, and that is NewsSpin on Power 97.9 FM. The broadcast is also on the NewsSpin Facebook page as well as on the NewsSpin YouTube channel. We go up until 2 o'clock this afternoon with your calls at 452-2979. That's 452-2979. Along with your WhatsApp calls and messages at 716-2026. Once again, that is 716-2026. So we heard from the island's Prime Minister and Minister with responsibility for finance delivering his budget address last evening. Several hours. And according to tradition, I think on this particular occasion, I think it was well timed in terms of its duration. The occasions when the budget address by a prime minister would go on until 9 o'clock, sometimes after 9. But this time it went on until after 8 p.m. Well delivered by the prime minister, but we'll be focusing on the contents of that address by Mr. Philip J. Pierre. National security, I think for a number of reasons, it has not been a dominant issue during the throne speech by the acting head of state, Governor General Errol Charles, and also by the Prime Minister and Minister for Finance. And that's for obvious reasons. Clearly, that is one of the areas that the government cannot tout, cannot speak too loudly on, primarily because of the statistics. And it's all about the stats. The government will boast about economic growth. The government will boast about low unemployment figures, but the government will not boast, well, it can't boast, but the government will not focus on the serious crime problem that we're experiencing and also give us the stats as far as the number of homicides we have recorded over the last few years, in particular when it came into office between 2021 and now 2024. I mean, if you're talking about in the month of April up to January to now, 31 homicides, that is nothing to boast about. And so what has been very palpable is that the government has not placed particular emphasis on crime. Our pastor talk about safety of citizens and talking about resources provided to the police, but it has not gone in depth. So, on this issue, the Prime Minister says the first responsibility of any government is the safety and protection of its citizens. All the rights and privileges depend on it. And that is what we have been trying to emphasize on this broadcast. That is what we have been trying to impress upon the Prime Minister and National Security Minister, as well as the police. But I think they have been ignoring us. They have been pretending that it is not their responsibility. It's not their first responsibility to ensure that they secure the nation, secure the people, make them feel safe, so that they can go out, they can engage in various social activities and events. They can walk and roam freely, not feeling that they have to look over their shoulders, etc. Because as much as we have a responsibility for our own personal security, ensuring that we are not complacent, ensuring that there are a number of things that we do around our homes to secure our homes, whether having our own cameras, ensuring that you not go out there and flaunt, your gold chains and your rings and your jewelry and so on, and you do not travel in particular areas, particularly at certain times of the evening or in the wee hours of the morning, etc. But the broader thing when it comes to the security of the state, no doubt that is the responsibility of the country. Let us hear from the Prime Minister focusing on the safety of citizens and saying something to us during his budget presentation that we knew all along.
The first responsibility of any government is the safety and protection of its citizens. All their rights and privileges depend on it.
So you heard there from the Prime Minister, and we're emphasizing again, the Prime Minister says the first responsibility of any government is the safety and protection of its citizens. All their rights and privileges depend on it. In this regard, can the Prime Minister confidently and unequivocally boast to the Sanusian public that that responsibility has been fulfilled by him and by extension the government of St. Lucia? The first responsibility of any government is the safety and protection of its citizens. All their rights and privileges depend on it. Now, the Prime Minister might not feel compelled to answer this question, but it is for you, as the citizens of this country, to determine whether the Prime Minister has fulfilled, has carried out that responsibility of a government ensuring that its people are safe and protect those citizens, protect their rights and privileges according to the Prime Minister which depend on it. And in this regard, you could talk about economic growth. You could talk about high employment rate, low unemployment. If you do not protect those people, the same way you would protect the victory, if you don't protect those people, it basically amounts to nothing. That economic growth that you want to make reference to. People need to feel safe in the country. In the United States, when a particular state would have, New York, anywhere, an increase in violence, an increase in gun-related crimes, the mayor, the president of the United States can talk about economic growth, can talk about low unemployment. I think unemployment figures are about a little over 3% in the United States right now. What if the people do not feel safe? It basically amounts to zero. I prefer to be safe in my environment, in my country, honestly, than to have a job. Which one would you choose? You want to be gainfully employed, or you want to be safe? Now, you could have both. You're okay. And we are not saying, I think, and I can speak for the vast majority, if not all, Sanusians. Sanusians are not saying that we cannot record 1 or 2 homicide every now and then. There can't be a little burglary every now and then. In our midst, there are some people who are just hell-bent on engaging in acts of violence and other criminal acts. That is a given. But when you tell me on occasions you're recording 4 homicides during a weekend, or 7 to 8 homicides during 1 week, that is serious cause for concern. And that could drive away investors. It certainly can drive away visitors to our shores. It can cause other countries to take certain actions against us, such as advisories. And we know how lethal advisories can be. Just ask Jamaica and ask the Bahamas. Despite the significant increase in visitor arrivals being recorded by Jamaica, just imagine if those advisories were not being imposed on that country. And the same obtains for the Bahamas. And the best example of striking a balance would be countries like Singapore. We can never stop focusing on using Singapore as an example of a country which has really struck a balance. Yes, there's a downside in that certain liberties are curtailed, but gainfully employed, the education level, the provision of health care, crime is manageable. That is the kind of environment that you want to exist in. So the government really cannot blow its trumpet on an issue that certainly is front and center in the lives of the people of this country, and that is crime. The Sanusian leader also focused on another issue. That is, according to the Prime Minister, there are certain things as far as the resources, the manpower of the police should not be made public. I suspect the Prime Minister is making reference to, and I just, as a suspicion, okay? The Prime Minister is making reference to certain revelations that were made last Wednesday on the DBS program Newsmaker Live by the President of the Police Welfare Association, Mr. Cameron Law. When he said, for example, that police officers have to share bulletproof vests. So you got an assignment, you're going to do a raid, You have your bulletproof vest. You must pass it on to the next team of police officers. Now, I've read certain places that people are saying, well, it's okay, there's nothing wrong with that. But where hygiene is concerned, so we might take issue with it. And it does show that you have a limited supply of something that is definitely, that should be a priority. That is crucial in your fight against crime. Because you're talking about criminal elements not armed with machetes and knives anymore. But they have high-powered firearms, and of course they have seemingly an unlimited supply of ammunition. And just to share with you some stats I just got, and it makes reference to firearms and ammunition seized by the Royal St. Lucia Police Force during the first quarter of 2024. You're talking about firearms in January, 4, the magazines, 4, ammunition, 93. That's in January of 2024. February of this year, firearms seized by the police, 4, magazines, 3, ammunition, 120 rounds. In March, firearms seized by the police, 5, magazines, 5, ammunition, 180 rounds. So the total for January to March, firearms seized, 13, magazines, 12, rounds of ammunition, 393. That's a lot. So you need to provide the police with the training, with the equipment, the vehicles. You need the bulletproof vests. And the Prime Minister has been saying that he has provided so many vehicles to the police since his PWA, said on the broadcast last Wednesday. And what has also been reported is that those vehicles are replacements for vehicles that have been decommissioned, vehicles that have broken down. They are no longer in use. So if I had 5 vehicles, then you end up giving me 4. You're saying we have 9 now? No. And especially those 5 vehicles are now out of commission. You're just replacing those vehicles. But we know politicians, and we know how they like to play with figures and stats and economic growth. So if there was negative growth one year and the economy shuttered because of COVID-19, when you return, people are back to work, you say, yeah, the economy grew by 18%. And then the following year it grows by 11%, and then the following year it grows by 1.2% or thereabout. What does that tell you? All right. So what would have prompted the Prime Minister to say, you can't make those things public? What would have prompted him to make that statement? I believe it is what the president of the PWA revealed on Newsmaker Live last Wednesday. Let us hear from him.
We have heard that, for a very long time, that we have given 30, we have given 20. Most of these vehicles and equipment that have been given are just replacements. They're given new and probably even more are decommissioned. So it really does not even make a dent in terms of the equipment that is needed by the police to do what they're supposed to do. So if I will tell you, I have not seen, since I will say World Cup 2007, they're about 6-7, any significant number of equipment being given to the police for their operations. Since that time, it has been replacing. You get 5 new bikes, you have 3 or 4, even the same 5 being decommissioned. So we have not had any significant increase in terms of vehicles and the number of equipment that is needed. You have police officers today still sharing a bulletproof vest. You know that you come to work, you are being given a bulletproof vest to perform your duties. You drop it back at the end of your tour, and the tour coming in will use that very same vest. That is unacceptable.
President of the PWA, Police Welfare Association, Mr. Cameron Law. So let's listen to the Prime Minister during his budget presentation, talking about police equipment. It should not be there in the public domain because that is national security.
Mr. Speaker, the details of the nature and extent of police equipment and resources are a matter of national security and should never be compromised by careless comments by people who should know better. Mr. Speaker, I repeat, the details of the nature and extent of police equipment and resources are a matter of national security and should never be compromised by careless comments by people who should know better.
National Security Minister, Minister for Finance, Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Mr. Philip J. Pierre, once again, comments extracted from his budget address last evening. But let me take you back to a few months ago, maybe a year, when the Tourism Minister, Minister with responsibility for investment, Dr. Ernest Hilaire, said to the entire nation, said to the rest of the world, that the K9 unit had to be disbanded because it was costing the state too much. It was costing the state $40,000 a month. And also you had 5 dog handlers. We could not afford that. That wasn't a national security issue that should have remained within the bosom of the RSLPF and by extension the government of St. Lucia. Because what Dr. Ernest Hilaire was saying to the public and to certain people in this country is that we no longer have a K9 unit. We are no longer financing a K9 unit in this country. The Prime Minister would have spoken on this as well later, justifying the decision to disband the K9 unit. Is that a national security issue? The Prime Minister also would go on to say to the St. Lucian public that he got a puppy, a dog, French dog. And that dog had to be trained. Confirming again, we are still without a K9 unit. Those are national security ministers. If we have to go on the rules that are being set by the Prime Minister, the standard set by the Prime Minister, you ought not to speak about those issues. Those are national security issues. And I believe that speaking about this thing about the vehicles and also the bulletproof vests, I think sometimes you hear those things because people are frustrated because of the conditions under which they are working. You think the police commissioner would want to make that kind of statement public or publicly? She would. But she's hampered by certain things, gagged, can't speak, maybe because of her position. But in effect, Mr. Law is basically the head of a trade union. He's speaking on behalf of his members. He's trying to represent the interest, trying to say to the government, you can do better as far as the provision of resources to the police to carry out their work. More bulletproof vests, more vehicles instead of just replacing them. But we'll hear more during the course of our broadcast. Let's open the lines to take your calls right now at 452-2979. That's 452-2979. And we can also take your WhatsApp calls at 716-2026, 716-2026. Still to come, you'll be hearing more from the St. Lucian Prime Minister. Good afternoon to you, Kimani.
Good afternoon, Tim. In the chat room, someone says no significant increases in equipment, but a drastic increase in criminal activities. Another comment, how many bulletproof vests could the Bam Bam Wall money afford to buy? Another comment, so why didn't he echo his voice when Arv said police officers gives him info? Tim, job security and national security go hand in hand. No job means more crime, and by extension, no one is safe. The RSLPF should be more detailed in their reporting. What caliber of ammunition, what firearms make and model, etc. These small details are necessary. Someone asked, what is the current count of unsolved murders over the past 5 years? We report murders only on a yearly basis, but we should look at this cumulatively, as this would add more focus on the gravity of this situation.
I think we have a WhatsApp call. Let's see that call. Good afternoon. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Hi, Tim.
Hi, good afternoon to you.
Hi, Tim.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Tim, the president of the Police Welfare Association saying that police have to share bulletproof vests, it's not a national security concern. It's a matter of police welfare. Cameron Law did not say the police go on the beat without bulletproof vests. He said they have to share bulletproof vests. So there's no national security issue, as the Prime Minister would have us believe, right? Cameron Law did not put out any information that the police are unprotected. That's not what he's saying. He's merely saying, in representing his members, that they have to share bulletproof vests. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So there's no issue of national security. It's a matter of police welfare. Now, the Prime Minister loves to come and boast about how many vehicles he's given to the police every single year. Tim, this is nothing new. Every single government, every single year, have to replace vehicles, have to replace motorbikes, and so on. Every single year, recruits graduate and join the force as people retire. So this constant boasting about how many vehicles you've given the police force as if it's some kind of measure of success of national security. I'm happy that the president of the Police Welfare Association came out and debunked that. And Tim, you're absolutely right. And thank you for pointing out the inconsistencies and the hypocrisy and the Prime Minister speaking out on both sides of his mouth. On one hand, he's decrying the president of the Police Welfare Association, saying they have to share bulletproof vests. And the other hand, he's out there saying, we don't have a K9 unit. Our K9 unit has been disbanded. We can't afford it, and all sorts of things. And also putting out information about the scanners, how the scanners are decommissioned or whatever. Like, he's provided so much information that really and truly goes to the heart of our national security and letting the criminals know what resources we have and don't have. For him to come and denounce what Cameron said is totally ridiculous and unfair. Thanks, Tim.
You're welcome, ma'am. And to be fair to the Prime Minister, he never identified Mr. Cameron Brown as the one who acted irresponsibly in revealing certain matters pertaining to the Royal St. Lucia Police Force that are deemed to be a national security threat. So I'm just making the assumption that he was making reference to Mr. Cameron Law. 452-2979, 452-2979, along with your WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026. Good afternoon. You are on the air.
Good afternoon, Tim. How are you doing?
I'm okay, caller. Good afternoon to you.
Tim, the more I listen to the Prime Minister, Philip J. Pierre, it never surprises me, well, in terms of how ridiculous he can be, based on his statements and his actions. Heritage is saying that certain information should not be in the public domain when it comes to national security, and you basically putting certain persons on alert. But there it is that you had a government minister, part of his own very cabinet, who said that the police give him files on private citizens. You remember that, Tim? A government minister said on a talk show that the police department or certain police officers is giving him files or information on private citizens. And Philip J. Pierre saw nothing wrong with that. never apprehended or pulled or had the minister to retract those statements, that government minister. But today you want to give a subtle warning to certain individuals about sensitive national security issues. This is the hypocrisy of Philip JP that I cannot stomach. You know, a government minister said that. Yeah, he's given files on private citizens from certain high-ranking police officers. You never condemn it, Philip JP. Eh? Not one, not a word, not a word. And today you want to talk nonsense about sensitive information should not be let out there when it comes to national security. Come on, Philip JP. Tim, when is Philip JP going to get serious and govern the country? When? We are laughing stock out in the real world, you know, Tim. It's no joke. This CIP thing is a cesspool of corruption. I understood that somebody sent you a WhatsApp message. I understood from information reaching me that the chairman of CIP resigned, and that information is factual.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, we're trying to confirm whether this is true or not, but we have not been able to confirm.
It is true. The chairman of CIP, Lon Theophilus, has resigned from CIP, from the board of the CIP. The question is right now is why that sudden resignation, you know? And this CIP is a cesspool of corruption, Tim. And we have to dig deeper and deeper and find out why it is that the Labour, Philip JP and Ernest Healy refuses to attend this invitation in Washington, D.C. There is more that meets the item, and St. Lucian, you are being fooled by this Labour Party government. This is the most corrupt Labour government I've ever seen.
Caller, let's not talk about corruption. Let's not talk about corruption without evidence. All right, sir. Thank you so much.
There's so many. Have a blessed one.
All right, take care. WhatsApp message, somebody says, Tim, so obviously the Prime Minister is well aware of his responsibility as PM. He can't pass the buck onto the police entirely. To have an effective police force, it is required to build confidence that they are going to be backed by the government. They also need to be properly equipped. Who in their right mind would be enthusiastic about facing youths with automatic weapons without British standard bulletproof vests, reinforced headgear with visors, and sufficient ammunition to protect themselves? This situation is quite frankly incredibly unbelievable, and your Prime Minister knows full well proper equipment is absolutely essential. He has no excuse as he keeps on telling everyone that his father was a policeman. Tim, take a poll. See how many volunteers you can find to go out there and face automatic weapons being used against them with no protection or very little protection whatsoever. I'll wait. What's happening in the chat room, Kimani?
In the chat room, someone says, I want to know how many of these slated hotel projects that the PM referenced last night actually have construction financing lined up. You can buy land and do a sword turning ceremony all without having any of the financing to actually build the hotel. Someone says, St. Lucian, maybe we are seeing things in a different pair of lens. Maybe crime is the government's business. Business is booming while crime is at its highest. Maybe, or just maybe, we have it wrong.
WhatsApp message. Issue of vests for the police is an issue of personal hygiene. Imagine patrolling for a few hours, leaving to hand over a sweaty vest to another police officer. Talking from experience.
Another comment. Tim, has Stanley Felix rescheduled for his appearance on NML? Has he, Tim?
I called Mr. Felix a few days after he asked for the interview to be rescheduled. I've not gotten him. He's not returned my call, so I don't know.
Someone says, if you do not have cocoa outside for sunlight, you will not be watching for the rain. Another comment, something like minimum wage should be something of the past. Dealing with it right now shows us how much our politicians have taken us for a ride. Because if they were the ones in our shoes, they would have known how tight it fits. But as long as they can determine their wages and pension, why would they care?
What's that message? I heard the PM mentioned in his budget of 70 officers to be trained to increase the manpower of the force. Tim, that isn't true. Like Mr. Lord said, that's not even enough to replace the numbers that have retired and resigned from the organization. To make a dent with manpower, they need at least 600 officers. But when I heard the Prime Minister making this statement, and honestly, I heard he say 17, but now somebody is saying that he said 70 officers. So I'll look into this to clarify. We have a call. Good afternoon, NewsSpin. You are on the air. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, I'm speaking on the behalf of somebody else. To me, when before that guy came in power, the Prime Minister right now, to me he said he had everything in place. And right now we're asking the public about, you need help, you need help, give me an idea of how to deal with the crime. To me, that's not making no sense. What do you think about that?
Well, Cole, I've been speaking about this ever since the Prime Minister came into office. I believe that the Prime Minister and the government should lead on this crime issue, and everybody else will follow. The Prime Minister, along with the police, should lead and will follow him. Yeah.
More and more things getting worse in the country. I'm seeing the country that have no Prime Minister. The way the crime is getting in the country, to me, I think they have any Prime Minister.
But the Prime Minister's job, Cole, is to paint a rosy picture of developments, investment, low unemployment, high employment, and everything else, and not focus on those critical issues that are affecting the people that are close and dear to their hearts. Because you could have all your economic activity, and you're not safe in the country. And you are, for example, living in V4, and I'm not stigmatizing that particular community, and you living in that community, you are very fearful for your life as to, whether you can roam around, whether you can walk in the community, whether you can open your business and on what days, etc., what disruption you will experience, which family member will be shot, if they're lucky enough, injured, and the unlucky ones will be killed, etc. Those are things that you really want to manage. You want to keep under some level of control whilst you look at matters relating to economic growth and other areas.
Yeah, that I'm saying. I'm saying, try and work on the most important thing, the crime. That's the most important thing for the time. When you have a country making all kind of crime, just now you're not getting no tourists coming in the island. And we're living on tourism, and we're saying we're independent. To me, not independent, because every day we're going and borrow. That borrow not finishing at all. That I'm saying, I think that waste of time. They're wasting the money and going everywhere and say we're independent and celebrating, making big fun about that. And I think it's a waste of money that day, you know what I'm saying?
All right, sir. Thank you so much. Still to come on the broadcast, the Prime Minister says that minimum wage should come into effect by August the 1st, 2024. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. NewsSpin.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbuta at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Lucilex remote options are available to serve you every weekday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Call or send a WhatsApp message to 285-6796, 285-7859, 285-3593, 285-3329, or 285-8640. Or send an email to customersupport@lucilec.com for assistance. Lucilec encourages you to use the available options for doing business with us remotely.
Get ready to turn up the heat with KFC's blazing Burn-A-Box deal. For only $30, you'll feast on 2 succulent chicken pieces. Dive into the exclusive new Bacon Melt sandwich, savor crispy regular fries, and wash it all down with a refreshing regular drink. But wait, tune into the radio and keep an eye on social media for limited discount tickets and ticket giveaways to see Burna Boy on May 3rd. One lucky winner and 3 friends will snag VIP and backstage passes. Just grab your Burna box, jot your name and number on the receipt, and drop it in the box provided for your chance to win. Ignite your taste adventure with KFC's Burner Box today.
In these modern times, the field of medicine has become so advanced that no one has to suffer any longer before they can be seen by a specialist doctor. La Clinique de Corps is proud to be the only healthcare provider in St. Lucia to offer the best and most experienced specialist doctors who are capable to first correctly diagnose and then successfully treat health conditions such as chronic back pain, spinal injury, sciatica, numbness, lupus, arthritis, joint pain, facial nerve pain, knee, heel and shoulder pain, cramps and carpal tunnel syndrome. Also available at La Clinique de Corps, complete nerve tests to detect nerve injury or muscle disease. All health insurances are accepted at La Clinique de Corps. So walk again pain-free with La Clinique de Corps. To book an appointment, please call 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950.
Catch the new vibe and the lingo. More upon more so the tingo. Is more with flow if you didn't know. All these deals is a winner. More upon more with flow. More data, more talk for sure. More WhatsApp, video, can't stop. Unlimited talk, so you not stop chat.
Flow prepaid combo plans just got better. Loaded with even more data and unlimited talk. Take advantage of WhatsApp and all its features with our new prepaid plans. Unleash your creativity with more social media. Dial *129 $ to activate.
Now that's the new vibe and the lingo. Yes. More upon more, say the tingo. It's more with flow, now you really know. Catch it now. All these deals make you save more. Get more.
Night Meds is your dependable neighborhood pharmacy. You'll notice that upon entry, you are greeted by caring professional staff, attentive to your every need. Your prescriptions are always treated with a high degree of confidentiality, and we pride ourselves on providing speedy, efficient service. We carry a wide array commonly requested over-the-counter products, and our prices are very competitive. We offer blood pressure testing, blood sugar, and cholesterol testing. We're open to fill your prescriptions Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Come visit Sadhu's gas station on the Miku Highway or call us at 572-6840 or WhatsApp 461-6840 for more information. Night Meds Pharmacy. We are your community med store.
Soufre Jazz, the ultimate experience. On the fringe of St. Lucia Jazz, yet taking main focus is Soufre Jazz, the ultimate experience. Featuring Taunton legend, Future Lights, Robsai and Finesse, TYP, Ricky T, Jefferson John, Headliners, Nyla Blackman, Skinny Fabulous, Taurus Riley.
She's royal, yeah, so royal.
Presented by the Soufre Event Management Organization. Sunday, May 5th at the Soufre Mini Stadium from 3 p.m. General admission, $130 EC. VIP, $400 EC. Get your tickets at fourcirclestickets.com. SRDF, The Cell, Soufre Jazz, the ultimate experience.
Hey guys, guess what? Because your dad deserves more, Europa is giving more. They're bringing back the wow on Friday, June 14th with the very popular Culture Day for Father's Day. Last year was a blast and this year will be explosive. So fathers, stepfathers, grandfathers, all the dads of St. Lucia and all the moms who stand for dad, we are knocking out 15% discount on all pressure washers, vacuum cleaners, upholstery cleaners, in fact, on all carton machines. And that's not all. With turbo impact drills, rotary hammer drills, angle grinders, power saws, jigsaws, and sanders too. This year we are throwing the kitchen sink out for dads.
Listen, ça non vle encore. Pour les diwi.
Europa June 14th. I'm not.
452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. WhatsApp message. Let me see. There was somebody saying, I so agree with Cameron Law, the president of the PWA, for putting the issues out there on behalf of the members of the Police Welfare Association. He should have gone further to say that there are police units that operate without a vehicle, despite the PM's claim that his administration has provided the vehicles needed by the police force. The complaints unit currently operates without a vehicle. And let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. Somebody says that I just listened to it again. He said 17. However, I know that they're about to recruit 70. Okay. Thank you so much for that WhatsApp message. And somebody says that, was it the same Prime Minister who promised a minimum wage to be announced on February 22nd, 2024? Now it is August the 1st, 2024. At the rate this Prime Minister is speaking, I will believe it when I see it, or not when I hear it. All right, let's see there. Another WhatsApp message. Okay, all right. Let's see if we have some more. Remember, you can call 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. In the number of officers to be trained, over half of them are females. What is the country doing with female officers right now, notwithstanding the speed and level of crime in this country today? We have a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
3 times journalist of the year. Mr. Timothy Poleon, how you doing, buddy?
I'm okay, caller.
How you going, Kamani?
I'm doing good.
My Banadil Conway people and the godfather of the nation, Sir Michael Shasti. How you doing, sir? Tim, come at you. Well, already I do correct. I was here solution saying, right? That Guy Joseph, Mr. Guy Joseph, and the great man, one of the world's most brilliant men, Sir Alan Michael Shasti, are corrupt and they're violent. Tim, how many years have they been saying that? It's about 2 decades, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, Tim?
Yeah.
Good. The great man and Guy Joseph is in St. Lucia. They're in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. They cannot arrest them. They cannot touch them. They got prosecutor. They have 2 bad guys. Can't touch the men. But yet still, every the people of St. Lucia, who I think are stupid, Guy violent, Shasta violent, Guy corrupt, Shasta corrupt. No. The chickens are coming on the roost. Heritage now, first of all, don't let me forget this. The chairman of Birdie told me the chairman of CIP was asked to resign. Full stop. All right, Tim?
No, I cannot speak to any bird. I can only speak to individuals, human beings.
Okay. I am telling you what I heard.
But I must tell you that I've been trying to confirm, and I'm not in a position to confirm this call. I have to be extremely careful to ensure that I deal with things factually on this program. Factually.
He was asked to resign.
Again, I'll tell you. Don't repeat that call. I'm just saying, don't repeat it. It's not worth repeating because I've not been able to.
Why not repeat it?
No. You could do it, in your private setting, but not on the program. I can't tolerate it on the program. I have no such information. Yes, but I have no such information. Go ahead.
Let me continue. The communist SFP Mogus gang, as far as I've heard, the leader, Prime Minister JPR, was summoned to Brussels a week or 2 weeks ago.
That he has denied.
Hello?
That he has denied.
Okay, he denied. Those guys tell him to raise anything and man believe them. And now this week, I'm hearing they are invited to come to the U.S. to answer questions. If not, they will suffer. Not them. The people of St. Lucia will suffer the consequences. Now we're looking down the barrel in Europe, and we're looking down the barrel in the States. which include Europe, including Miami, Martinique, Super Barbados, and those countries. The other Caribbean islands looking on as serious as Julius is, as those good people. Super we wouldn't be able to go anywhere. Are you following me, Tim?
I'm listening to you, sir.
Meanwhile, all this is going on. The great man, the world's one of the most brilliant man on the planet, Sir Alan Michael Shasta, I didn't call him sir for a joke. I didn't say he's brilliant for a joke. The World Bank and the IMF invited him to come and address them. That's what I'm talking about. That's class. That's class. That's what that there it is that the people of the Bogus gang, the communist Bogus gang, John Big Government, is telling solutions a lot of nonsense. A lot of nonsense. And here it is, they are accused of being on the other side of the fence. While the great man, who is loved and respected internationally, I will speak, loved and respected internationally, is invited to address them. The World Bank and the International Monetary Fund, two of the world's the most leading lending agencies. That's what I'm talking about. Did they invite any government minister? Did they invite any person from the Mogus gang? Answer is no. No. But yet, the great man in opposition, he's the opposition leader, you know. Opposition leader. Come here, Shas, we need you, boy. Come tell us what to do. Come here, great man. Come and tell us what to do. That's what I'm talking about. That's the same great man that told the IMF and the World Bank that he has a plan for his country, said Lucia. And this plan got to work. And they told him no. He told no, this plan got to work. And he proved them wrong. That's what I'm talking about. The genius of the man. Okay? When you talk about men, when you talk about men, there's nobody in St. Lucia. I repeat, there's no one in St. Lucia could walk in that man's shoot. All this talk about shall I say educated, shall I say about this person about that. It's a big of all the educators, they have all the doctors, they have all the lawyers, you're the tutor guy. But they can't do nothing. One more thing, Tim. You see that guy they call Alex George? That said what he said, called the great man, house, but slave master on us and people like me, house slaves. That is what SLP members and supporters preach. They call me that 1,000,000 times because they can't break me. They can't break me. And you know what, Chip? Let me tell you something what they all have in common. They cannot debate. SLP supporters and the members, they cannot debate. Hence why the great man threw them like piece of cake. When they in the house, the great man, as you know, the great man like a mess of them. They're like putty, okay? Tell them to sit down and shut up. Have a nice day, sir.
You too, sir. Thank you so much. Why are some of us acting like the budget was sent from heaven? I was amazed at the comments on FB last evening. Don't we get one of these every year? It's only amazing when it actually happens. We did vote for him for a $500 promise. A WhatsApp message. And let me see if I have any more of your WhatsApp messages. Somebody says that the Prime Minister appears to be quite informed on what is being discussed on NewsSpin. Is it only now that he knows that the primary responsibility of government is to protect the citizens? At least, we have told him so over and over again, and now he has listened. He throws national security in the air as an excuse. Since when police vehicles and equipment are secrets of national security? Some of us feel quite sad when we listen to the Prime Minister's incoherence. Maybe it's not a question of hypocrisy at all on his part, but just incapability and ignorance. What is in the chat room, Kimani?
In the chat, someone says, Mr. Bermuda, the only good bird is a dead bird, so check your sources. Another comment, someone says, If the government of the day does not listen to the Police Welfare Association about the plight and the needs of their officers, how can the government be proactive in helping their officers? Is this a case of illusion of inclusion? Another comment, by the way, where's the special prosecutor and the cases he's supposed to handle? Someone says sensitive information relative to which party is in power. The fact remains that police are sharing body armor, which isn't safe and definitely not sanitary. Another comment, this time on YouTube. Someone says, forgive Pierre, he does not know what national security means. Someone is asking, why all the confusion with CIP and the country? Another comment. Someone says, has there ever been any feedback on ballistic tests done on any of those seized illegal weapons, and if any were linked to any crimes? That's it, Tim.
Thank you so much, Kimani. WhatsApp message, there's carnage on our highways on a daily basis. Don't know what is being taught to our new drivers. Overtaking in corners. Indicators not used when turning left or right. Hazard lights used to stop in the carriages to talk. Tim, it is scary to drive on our roads. The traffic department should react ASAP. 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. We have a call. Good afternoon. You are on the air. Hello. Good afternoon.
So, Tim.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
Let me, as usual, I always do my best to a little check-in for you. As of today, Mr. Lon Theophilus has not resigned as chairman of the SEBI.
Okay.
As of today. Are you there, Tim?
That's why you're an honorary member of this broadcast. But I've been making some calls to find out. Okay, so as of today...
But as of today, you can take my word and follow up.
Of course.
As of today,
he has not resigned.
He has not.
Okay.
I want to say quickly too, Tim, that yesterday, the point I made about the lady in Beaufort, the author,
yeah,
and about the assassination or whatever. I forgot to tell you also that Guy Ellis was Adam Chasney's main speechwriter.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, all that political stuff. And are you sure that the lady was a guest speaker on Emancipation Day?
Somebody sent me a WhatsApp message to that effect. I don't know what the activity was.
You don't find there's a little irony in there?
That is Emancipation Day, that she used that occasion to speak about that particular...
No. I appeared on a panel discussion, and a certain well-known social commentator called up the station where everybody could hear in and out of St. Lucia, and I was unfit to sit on that panel because I was not black enough.
Was that on an NTN program?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
It's program. The records I've set in this country. But I am not nearly as blonde or otherwise, and I don't want to be categorized in the matter of people's color and content. I'm not into that color crap, But I'm just saying how ironic that the people who tend to ignore the content of local character, people's character, they tend to ignore the character, the content of the character of locals, but that doesn't seem to matter in matters like emancipation from slavery, emancipation from colonial slavery, and your star speaker is not a local person. That's not ironic.
Definitely.
And then that local person is that colonial is commenting on the politics of somebody she obviously doesn't know. Now, what I messed him, when you analyze that, I think it's very, very unfortunate that the lady, never mind my free speech position, it's unfortunate that the lady was invited to speak on something on emancipation. When you think about it,
maybe the organizers knew exactly what should be speaking about, and it met their approval.
But of course they knew that. But anybody who invites a guest to address any kind of convention or meeting has a fairly good reason why.
Yeah.
They know your background. They know who you are. They know they'd be totally crazy, and that's not normally done. They are well monitored first and investigated before they. So that whole thing, it's unfortunate that it went down into a white-black situation, and a lot of things said that were not true on all sides. And I just want to confirm that Guy Ellis was very much a Chasney booster, though he didn't make noise about it. Guy was very quiet.
Mm-hmm.
But I can tell you that Guy was a main speechwriter for Alan Chasney. So right there, he disagrees with the lady who said about Compton would never embrace Chasney, when in fact it is Compton who brought Alan Chasney into politics. We must read more, Tim. We must read more. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much. That's a record in terms of the brevity of that contribution by Rick Queen. The broadcast will continue in just a moment. We'll be hearing from the Prime Minister August the 1st of this year. This is the most monitored talk show in the world.
There is only one option when they arrive. Our services will make the dead look alive. With Bouteille and Beaufort accessibility. Remember, we have the only private cemetery. No one can match our prices from coffins to corsage. Personalized service you get when Lazarus take charge. Quality service, no package to make your wallet bleed. Lazarus is your true friend in your time of need.
Lucilex remote options are available to serve you every weekday from 8 a.m. Message to 285-6796, 285-7859, 285-3593, 285-3329, or 285-8640, or send an email to customersupport@lucilec.com for assistance. Lucilec encourages you to use the available options for doing business with us remotely.
It all started penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Catch the new vibe and the lingo. More upon more so the tingo. Is more with flow if you didn't know. All these deals is a winner. More pan, more with flow. More data, more talk for sure. More WhatsApp, video, can't stop. Unlimited talk, so you not stop chat.
Flow prepaid combo plans just got better. Loaded with even more data and unlimited talk. Take advantage of WhatsApp and all its features with our new prepaid plans. Unleash your creativity with more social media. Dial *129 $ to activate.
Now that's the new vibe in the lingo. Yes. More pan, more say the tingo. It's more with flow, now you really know. Catch it now. All these deals make you save more. Get more.
In these modern times, the field of medicine has become so advanced that no one has to suffer any longer before they can be seen by a specialist doctor. La Clinique de Corps is proud to be the only healthcare provider in St. Lucia to offer the best and most experienced specialist doctors who are capable to first correctly diagnose and then successfully treat health conditions such as chronic back pain, spinal injury, sciatica, numbness, lupus, arthritis, joint pain, facial nerve pain, knee, heel, and shoulder pain, cramps, and carpal tunnel syndrome. Also available at La Clinique du Corps, complete nerve test to detect nerve injury or muscle disease. All health insurances are accepted at La Clinique du Corps. So walk again pain-free with La Clinique du Corps. To book an appointment, please call 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950.
Craving an unforgettable experience? Immerse yourself in pulsating rhythms. Libate your palate with the finest booze. It's Rhythm and Booze, a jazz Sunday unlike any other. Indulge in a breakfast-inclusive event at the Sandals Golf and Country Club, May 12 from 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. Dance to the sounds of St. Lucia's hottest DJs and savor your favorite breakfast dishes. Rhythm and Booze. Get your early bird tickets now for $150, $175 regular. Available at all sell outlets and eventbrite.com. Don't miss this unforgettable Jazz Sunday. Rhythm and Booze. Sandals Golf and Country Club, May 12th. Rhythm and Booze. This event is powered by Chairman's Reserve, JB Shanae, and KFC.
Cause when we roll, we don't roll alone. Soufre Jazz, the ultimate experience. On the fringe of St. Lucia Jazz, yet taking main focus is Soufre Jazz, the ultimate experience. Featuring Taunton legend, Future Lights, Robzai and Finesse, TYP, Ricky T, Tedison John, Headliners, Nyla Blackman. Skinny Fabulous, Taurus Riley.
She's royal, yeah, so royal.
Presented by the Soufre Event Management Organization. Sunday, May 5th at the Soufre Mini Stadium from 3 p.m. General admission, $130 EC. VIP, $400 EC. Get your tickets at fourcirclestickets.com. SRDF, The Cell, Soufre Jazz, the ultimate experience.
Hey guys, guess what? Because your dad deserves more, Europa is giving more. They're bringing back the wow on Friday, June 14th with the very popular Culture Day for Father's Day. Last year was a blast and this year will be explosive. So fathers, stepfathers, grandfathers, all the dads of St. Lucia and all the moms who stand for dad, we are knocking out 15% discount on all pressure washers, vacuum cleaners, upholstery cleaners, in fact, on all carton machines. And that's not all. With double impact drills, rotary hammer drills, angle grinders, power saws, jigsaws, and sanders too. This year we are throwing the kitchen sink out for dads.
Missy, ça non vle ko. Pou lek di oui.
Europa June 14th. I'm not.
In 2022, we appointed a minimum and equal wages commission comprising representatives of the trade unions, private sector, and governments. I'm pleased to report, Mr. Speaker, that this commission has completed its preliminary report and the way forward will be as follows. In compliance with the provision of the Labour Act, Cap 16.04, the Commission shall proceed to prepare the draft order containing a recommended minimum wage for publication in the Gazette and to present its recommendations to the representatives of employees and employers as prescribed by the Labour Act. Mr. Speaker, Section 77 of the Labour Act prescribes the manner in which the Commission is to seek comments, and I quote, "When there is such a referral, the Commission by publication in the Gazette and submission to organizations representing employees and employers invite comments and objections relating to the making of a minimum wage order within 21 days of publication." And on the issue of objections, Section 87 reads as follows: "Objections to the making of a minimum wage order shall be submitted to the minister, stating A, the grounds of objections, B, the nature of that person's objections, in that manner, and C, such additions, modification, or amendments to the draft order that the person may think fit. Mr. Speaker, it is our hope and our desire to follow the rules that St. Lucian workers will have a new minimum livable wage by August 1st, 2024.
Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre. So the Prime Minister says, especially towards the end there, and that's very instructive, it is our hope and it is our desire that we'll have a minimum wage in effect by August the 1st, 2024. It is our hope and our desire. So we hope it happens, and I hope it happens to the satisfaction of people who are considered to be underpaid right now in St. Lucia, working in certain sectors. The Prime Minister says that stakeholders will be consulted, talking about employers and the trade unions. But there are a number of people who are not getting a satisfactory wage or reasonable wage right now in St. Lucia, who are not represented by a trade union. I wonder how those people will be impacted, and if they will be impacted positively. But it will take certainly a lot of work on the part of the various stakeholders to come up with a reasonable minimum wage. 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Let us take a call. Good afternoon. You are on the air. Okay, we lost that call. Let's try a call via WhatsApp as we say hello. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. Hello.
Hello, I'm Timothy. How are you?
I am okay, caller. Good afternoon to you.
And how is Kimani?
Hi, I'm good, caller. Thank you for asking.
She doesn't sound like she's okay, but yeah, she says, I'm good. Thank you for asking. But she's okay. Go ahead.
Pertaining to the lady in Vieux-Fort, the Caucasian lady that gave that lecture, it is not the first time she have said those things, because I'm in a group and I remember they sent out a flyer and a lecture that was going to be taken in Vieux-Fort. So we were okay. And then the gentleman who hosted it, the gentleman who was the main person that organized it, I know him, and my husband also knows him. So he asked my husband to attend. And I went to see what it was like. And I wasn't really pleased of this.
Hello, caller? Can't hear the caller too.
They had pictures of different press on a board. Just
my apologies to you, caller. You are breaking up.
One was there.
You are breaking up, ma'am. Maybe you'll have to recommence your contribution. Can you start back?
Pardon me?
Can you start your contribution all over?
Okay. I was saying the lady from Vieux-Fort, the Caucasian. It's not the first she said the thing she said in a lecture.
Right.
Because I'm in a group and they had sent an invitation pertaining to a lecture they were going to have in Vieux-Fort. And I decided to go. And the gentleman who was in charge, he organized the lecture. He also knows my husband, and he invited my husband to come. I know him too. And I went. And when I went, they had different picture of different prime minister of St. Lucia, which is not a lot, but then different pictures. The former prime minister one was there. The present prime minister picture was there. And they were making, things in the past and present, and they were even using, like, they calculate out some things. And this lady was asked to speak. That means she was a part of it. And when she went up, she said that kind of things. And some of the things that she said I don't know what time they had this lecture, but there were some of the same things she said the night. She said if Mr. John Compton was alive, he would choose this present prime minister over the former prime minister, and he must be rolling in his grave. And I'm saying to myself, but Mr. Compton, or the father of the nation, was in Labour Party, and he came out. Most likely was dissatisfied with what was going on, and he figured they wouldn't take the country to the kind of height it's supposed to go, and he went on his from his own party. So I'm wondering, how would he choose a Labour Party prime minister over Mr. Alan Chastney, who Mr. John Compton brought in his cabinet, to be tourism minister. So I wasn't really pleased. I said I would not go back to something like that because it was really political. And also some of the other people, not everybody, but some of the people that were there questioned certain things too and bring out even the CCJ that they came up with, and they didn't give us a chance to, have a referendum to speak or whatever. And the tourism minister, the present tourism minister, was there at the lecture, right? He was there, and others. So it's not the first she has said that. She is really anti the former prime minister. I don't know if it's because she has a business on Sandy Beach, and the former prime minister was thinking of developing Sandy Beach. I don't know if it's that. But I remember one time she told me that people don't want to stay in St. Lucia again. That's when the former prime minister government was in power. And even she has another person who works along with her partner. She also is anti Mr. Alan Chastney, because I've heard she said certain thing in my present. Okay, so I just wanted to let that be known.
Thank you so much for sharing it with us, caller. Much appreciated. 452-2979, your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Kimani, the chat room, what is happening there that is worth reporting on?
Someone says Tim Hope was the name of a motorboat. Another comment, I only hope he knows increasing the minimum wage call for money to bail out the small businesses so they can stay afloat with the big businesses. You cannot believe anything these people have to say unless you see it manifest. Another comment, I hope that the people of St. Lucia know that when the minimum wage is set, the price of living increases as well. A few YouTube comments. Someone says, someone said, so instead of just solving the problem, just cover it up. Another comment, Pierre knows how to play politics. Cameron touches his nerve. That is it.
Let's see if we have another call via WhatsApp. Hello, good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin, you're on the air.
Good afternoon, Tim.
Hi.
Your favorite, or should I say, your friendly neighborhood atheist.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. Long time I haven't heard from you.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Kimani.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Tim, I've been trying to chime in for a minute now, and I haven't gotten the opportunity. I need to ask you a question, Tim. Does the Catholic Church or any religious group hold a monopoly on morality?
Well, not to my knowledge, caller. We consider ourselves to be a Christian society, but we are not what you call a theocracy. So we are not governed by moral issues to a certain extent Although indirectly we are, because when you say thou shalt not kill, etc., etc. But when it comes to fornication and adultery, we're not penalized for that, because if you had to be penalized for fornication and adultery, none of us would be alive right now in this country.
But Tim, pre-Christianity, people already had moral values. Religion or religious people did not invent morality. Morality was hijacked by religion.
Mm-hmm.
So when the Archbishop came out and he said that we need to go back to being a more Christian society, I wonder which version of Christianity he's talking about. If he's talking about Christianity in the 1930s, Christianity in the 9th century, or the creolized version of Christianity, the soft version that we have today. Because I don't think he's read Leviticus or Deuteronomy.
So as an atheist, you read the Bible?
Well, duh. I mean, isn't that what intellectual honesty is? You have to read the opposing. You understand what I mean?
I understand.
I probably know more Bible than 90% of the Christian people in St. Lucia. Brother Harris calls sometimes and then he misquotes the Bible. I just sit at my house and I say, well, you know what? He's a self-appointed preacher, probably learned the Bible on his own, then I'm not gonna blame him. You know, a lot of things people say that's in the Bible, it's not actually in there. So anyways, I have a little advice for the Archbishop himself, Tim. When the Archbishop wants to come out and tell people to be more Christian and so on and so forth to help curb crime, the Archbishop can do us a favor. One, the Archbishop can use his voice and go to the government, it doesn't matter, Labour or Flabo, and advise them on how to manage a country. Have them look at the Vatican and model their society the same way in which the Catholic Church is very organized. Teach our politicians to organize themselves. One, the Catholic Church should be doing a lot more charity in St. Lucia, well, in the Caribbean on the whole, more than what they do. The Catholic Church, the Archbishop has to go to the Prime Minister and tell him we need the dogs and we need the scanners, and stop wasting our time and asking us to pray. Use his power, use his voice to mold the politicians so they could develop policies that could help poor people, and stop telling us to come back to church. And finally, what they can do, which is the Catholic Church, is all the lands they own in St. Lucia, give it to poor people so they have assets, so they could go to the bank and they can develop themselves. The empty churches they have, they need to donate it to the government of St. Lucia so we can have affordable housing. Okay? And don't tell us to come to church to help solve crime, because the Catholic Church is the biggest criminal organization in the world. Don't get me started on the boy sexing that happens in that organization. And finally, Tim, for today, I don't know, maybe you're gonna ban me after saying this, but stop letting Harris and them preacher and them man call your show and then make us retarded. Okay? They're retarding our society because they're not adding anything new. There's no nuance to what they're saying. They just call you and they repeat the same things over and over and over and over again. And I'm going to speak for the audience today. No less. Bye, Tim. Bye, man.
Thank you so much. That is your point of view. Now, I did not laugh because I agree with you. I'm just saying thank you so much for your contribution, caller. But in the chat room, somebody says, Guyanese, keep quiet. The lady, if you know accents, she is not a Guyanese. What's her nationality, Kimani?
I'm not sure.
She's Jamaican.
Someone mentioned that.
Yeah,
I didn't catch it.
Yeah, can't be Guyanese. I know accents very well. She is not Guyanese. No, that's Jamaican. That's a Jamaican accent. All right, let's see if we can take another WhatsApp call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Good afternoon to you, caller.
Yes, my brother. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you.
Yes, brother.
I tried very much to get through yesterday, and let us attempt, because you see, intellectual honesty, like a caller said, it is very important, and in terms of the development of a nation, it drives it could actually be what catapults development in a nation. And I am tired of hearing persons speak to the Labour Party as being responsible for the destruction of bananas. From as far back as 1992, 1987, the John Compton government was being advised to diversify, because the Brits were certain that a challenge put forth by the very United States to the WTO would have dealt a blow to the preferential treatment that we enjoyed. The Labour Party have nothing to do with the death of bananas. In fact, the Labour Party did what John Compton was advised to do 10 years before, and that is to diversify. The only mistake was that they diversify out of the agricultural sector, whereas for me, diversification should have been within the agricultural sector. Let us please inform our nation. Let our people grow. For the sake of politics, let's not peddle, for lack of a better word, nonsense.
So when the Senusha Labour Party, for example, supported the no-cut strike and the Banana Salvation Committee, and when it got into office in 1997, it privatized the banana industry, handing over the leadership, basically, of the Senusha Banana Growers Association, which upon privatization became the SLBC, handed over to the farmers, because that's what the farmers were clamoring for. They didn't know how to manage the banana industry, but they wanted it. They wanted it to manage, etc. Wasn't that one avenue that was utilized that resulted in the banana industry being destroyed?
No, okay, like you said, handed over to the farmers, operative word, because that is what the farmers were claiming for. The banana industry belonged to the farmers, and again, government could not continue subsidizing. It could not have remained the mainstay of our economy, because what secured it as the mainstay, which is preferential treatment, was being taken away, had to have been taken away. And so therefore, to say that is a move that should not have been made.
So then we had to clear the loan of about, what, $35 million for the farmers, right? The SLBC.
We've been clearing loans, successive government been clearing loans for a number of organizations.
But that particular method towards privatization resulted in us having to clear the loan of $35 million. But I mean, that's the thing we can debate right through, but I believe that the Senusha Labour Party played a role in the destruction of the banana industry, one, but also the government, the John Compton administration, was too tardy in paving the way for privatization of the local economy. Because if you understand the politics well, you will not have any kind of uprising in the banana industry and no-cut strikes, etc., for an opposition party not to play its part. And that I can tell you, because I covered it, the SLP played a leading role in all that destruction that took place in St. Lucia during those no-cut strikes.
But likewise, Timothy, propping up the banana industry, even when it was a burden on the economy, was a political, how should I say it, it was political wittiness on the part of John Compton, because John Compton saw the banana bloc, the farmers, the banana farmers, as a voting bloc that he could not have lost, and as such, whether or not bananas was dead already, he felt it necessary to give them this sense of hope that didn't exist at all. So even him refusing to diversify and to move away from bananas when he was advised so, it was in essence politics.
So they all played their part in destroying the banana industry then? So don't come and tell me the SLP did not. They all played their part in destroying the banana industry because it was politicized. by both
It
sides.
is not destroyed because the economic viability of this industry, where it came to an end. It was no longer what it was. Green gold, the days of green gold was over. Anyway, like you said, this thing could be argued. Also, too, this thing about racism in our politics. I mean, we all know for a number of years that light-skinned St. Lucians, is what I'm telling you, were the bank's favored choice. And that the access to capital and so on was always surpass that of dark-skinned St. Lucians. Also, it was John Compton, and you may think that I am repeating what I'm telling you, but I have followed the politics long enough to know that it was John Compton who said that no Bernard can ever run this country as long as he's alive. It was Alan Shastney who first referred to Kenny Anthony as the son of a slave master when he spoke about plantation economics. And so therefore, let us move our people. It's not about black or white. I don't think the Labour Party ever had a problem with white investors. The issue was that persons of Caucasian origin.
Let me tell you. Obviously, the St. Lucia Labour Party is playing the race baiting. Okay,
race card.
Of course, it's a lot of race baiting is taking place with the St. Lucia Labour Party. But we don't have sufficient time. It's already 3 minutes after 2, caller. But I do not want you to paint the St. Lucia Labour Party as this party that has not used certain things as bad as they have been to their advantage, whether it's destroying the banana industry and now playing the race card. The SLP has done both of them, and they are doing it now in particular, and they did it in the run-up to the last general election. When somebody can say, sorry, we don't want no black prime minister, we want a white prime minister, we don't want no white prime minister, we want a black prime minister, and that's not part of your campaign, and you do not come out and say, no, that's not right. We can't tolerate that in our country. That kind of division, we cannot tolerate it. And John McCain, whilst in debating then candidate Obama, Democratic candidate Obama for the presidency of the United States, when he was described as a Muslim and somebody who was not born in the United States, he came out and he clearly addressed that particular issue. Okay, but in St. Lucia, both sides do it. They don't address the issue. They don't clarify. They don't correct their supporters because they know that they will be benefiting from it. All right, sir. Thank you so much for your contribution. Any more comments in the chat room, Kimani?
In the chat, someone says, I remember clearly John Compton pleading with farmers to diversify, to plant other crops, even between their bananas. I was a young child, but I remember that clearly. The banana industry up to this day is still privatized. Another comment, the banana industry belonged to which farmers? Pat Joseph. In the chat, someone says, this gentleman needs an award as an atheist. He has represented even the so-called Christians. Another comment on Facebook, someone says, caller, SLP is the downfall of the banana industry. Stop talking about things you know nothing about. That is it, Tim.
Thank you so much. And finally, our NewsSpin news of the day. We have Amnesty International says international law falling apart amid wars in Gaza and Ukraine. Amnesty International says international law falling apart amid wars in Gaza and Ukraine. And we want to end on a funny note, so we might as well hear from our caller of the day yesterday. Funny clip caught me off guard. Rick Wayne. Yes, good afternoon to you, Rick Wayne.
Timothy.
Who's that?
I want to tell you something, Timothy.
Initially, it did not sound like Rick. Rick.
Timothy, St. Lucia finish it. St. Lucia finish it. Believe me, Timothy, St. Lucia finish. You know.
Well, the program finished. We'll be back, God willing, tomorrow afternoon, 12:30, with another edition of the most monitored talk show in the world, and that's NewsSpin.